We're live.
We're on?
Mhm.
Live.
Haha.
Hello, world. Welcome to BB Breakdown 902. Every week we get together, Lindsay and I, to recap the week of Big Brother from a Nova Scotian Canadian prerogative. We're two girls that are from the East Coast. Been watching Big Brother since we were like this high. And we're super fans basically. We love talking Big Brother. So we've turned it into a podcast that we recap every week the happenings of what's going on with the episodes and as well what's going on with the feeds. We know what's going on with the feeds via Twitter and the people that we follow because this past 2 years, Canada hasn't had access to the feeds. Well, however, we don't know how to get access to it. So if anybody wants to tweet at us how to, we would love it. So in saying we've kind of had a little bit of a break because Lindsay was home in Nova Scotia. So we're just gonna, at the beginning of the episode, just take off where we left off. So while Lindsay's uploading all of our links to Twitter and Facebook, I'll recap where we left off. So we left off with Nicole being HOH. And she had nominated Josea and Polly. Josea was her target. Polly was just somebody that she thought no one would vote out due to his social game. So we got introduced to a new twist as we were leaving last week. We didn't know the specifics of it. We actually watched the episode like the day following, or was it that same day? One of the two. And we were introduced to BB Roadkill, which is an RV comp that will happen every week. And the person that wins the competition gets told in secret in their little tackle box. And they have a choice of whether or not they're going to tell the host or not. So the long and short of it was Frank won the first BB Roadkill. He told just the veterans, from what I remember. And he ended up putting up Paul as the BB Roadkill nom. And then fast forwarding, Paul won the doggy veto and took himself off the block, obviously. And Frank, again, had the choice who to put back on the block as the third nom because he was the BB Roadkiller. And he put up Bridget as a pawn. So we'll take off from there because that's kind of where we left off. We'll recap, fast forward to where we're at now. So what did you think of the BB Roadkill? Was it as terrible as you figured it would be, or
No, I actually
are you
thought
a fan?
it was fine. I mean, I think that there's always going to be a couple people in the house that are targets. So having three up there seems, I was really against it last week, and then I really enjoyed it more than I thought I would. So who would have thunk? I think it'll be like 6 episodes and then they'll take it away. But I think, yeah, I kind of liked it. And I like that. I liked how they all kind of get their lunch pails or whatever and open it up, or toolkits or whatever. And I thought that was kind of cute. And I think it's interesting how Frank said nothing and no one knows who it was. And that's just how it is. I think that's what I would do. So I liked it.
Yeah, I was a big fan of it, but being the conspiracist I am, I always with the times want to see the time captured in the corner as they're doing the competition, just to kind of like put it into real time for me. I'm always just wondering, in terms of the roadkill win, is this who really won, or is this who Big Brother wanted to win? Since we didn't get like the time screen all along the competition. I do believe Frank probably did win though, because he is a comp. And I also tweeted out on our account that this is the season of compies, really. Like, it's all about competitions this season. I'm loving it, because not only are they competing tons, but on top of that, there's tons with how they've set up this BB Roadkill. Of splitting the house votes instead of just having a vote one-sided every single time until near the end. So I'm kind of liking that aspect of it as well.
Hmm.
And I was excited, like, to see like what they would think of for the second one. So good job, Big Brother. Kudos to them for
Hmm.
adding. I much preferred it over Battle of the Block, the BB Roadkill.
Hmm. Agreed.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of what just catching us up to this week. So then Josiah ends up going home 7-4. He was like mind baffled by this because he really believed that he had everybody on his side in the house, and he didn't. And it was awesome to see, because in the house he was calling himself the Messiah all week long, and that there would be no way he'd be going home. I'm kind of rooting for these people that are left on that side of the house, though. Like, I always root for the underdog. And I've been a fan of Paul's video interview. I like how he's spicing this house up. And I'm really rooting for him. And I'm rooting for Bronte, surprisingly. I didn't think I would be rooting for her, but I'm rooting for her because she's all about this girl alliance that she's put herself into called the Spy Girls. And they're really not as oblivious as they think they are, but I'm liking their little Spy Girl alliance too. I don't know. I don't know why this season I've kind of strayed away from the strategy, because Paul has absolutely no idea what he's doing, and these Spy Girls are completely ridiculous. But I'm getting a chuckle out of it all. So I don't know. I'm really liking this season. I'm liking how it's playing out so far. What do you think of the other side, the underdogs? Are you rooting for them, or?
I'm not rooting for them. I think they're a little bit naive and they don't know what's happening, and it's kind of painful to see it. I think that Bronte's actually quite bright. She's on my team, so yay. I think she's smarter than she's leading off, but I think that like Paul is kind of like completely in the dark. Victor in the dark. Like I just don't like. I don't think that. I think they're like macho men, and they're not playing with their heads. They're playing with their hearts, and I think that's always like a downfall in this game. I think Bronte knows that she may have aligned with the wrong team, and I think she'll kind of. But I think like Natalie seems completely like, huh, what's happening? Like, Bridget, same way. I'm a little bit surprised by her. But I think that there's still going to be big moves and big alliances made. But right now, the big eight or whatever they're called, I'm really enjoying that. Mostly because, like, it's just funny to watch them be like, holy crap, like, taking over this whole house, and not even like that, just whatever his name is, like, kicked out like that. It was awesome. Bye.
Oh, let's go back to that for a second. I really enjoyed watching Polly just stare down Josiah to see his reaction when
Uh-huh.
normally they're all sitting on the block and they're anxiously. He was just kind of like sitting there, like, yeah, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. It didn't happen the way we all expected it to, with a huge blowout. It was shockingly quiet in that house as he left. But I was loving the fact that Polly is just, he's much more of a character than Cody was. He's a little more, I find he's a little more out there. He's got a little more charisma than Cody did. I loved Cody, don't get me wrong, but I just find I'm really enjoying him as a player. I'm sad he's not on my team. He is dominating this week,
He's
and
doing really
I'm
well.
liking his.
He reminds me, like, I mean, he totally sounds and looks like his brother. It is bizarre. Like, I have a sibling too, and I do not think we look or sound like that. Like, I mean, we're different sexes, so that's kind of difficult. But I have never seen, like, I'm just like, it's like Cody all over again. And he's a beast in comps, and he's staying. So I knew he was just kind of a pawn, but he's one to watch out for, and he's on the right team. So right now he's got numbers. I'm a fan.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely liking him, and I'm liking and I've been watching it. Mind you, I've been catching up on feeds on YouTube and just like YouTubing the H out of feeds, like just seeing whatever I can see on YouTube. And I am liking the pairing of Polly and Zakaya, I think is her name.
Yep.
They are sizzling together. They're both beautiful. She seems to know what she's doing, quite cunning. So I think they actually could end up being a power couple, similar to Emmett and Jill. I think I comp beast as Jill was, but she is quite smart where the game is concerned. She's aligned herself with the right people. No one has her like on like their radar to vote out. So I don't know. I think like this pairing is gonna prove to be quite disastrous to get out of the house. I think that the veterans, the only one that's kind of catching on to it is Davon, of course, because Davon catches on to everything. And no one else is kind of hearing her concerns of this power couple. And I'm liking it, to be honest. I'm liking it.
Yeah, I'm loving Nicole. I'm loving Davon because Davon really didn't get a shot the first time around, so she's back in it in a big way. Really like her. Of course, like Frank, I'm really like, at first I wasn't 100% sold on who they brought back in, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so good. And yeah, so do we want to talk about who won HOH and everything? Polly won it.
Yeah, Polly wins HOH. They had like a berry HOH where they had to get berries across like either the hard side or the not so hard side. Team totally dominated category 4. This team thing is really working to Frank's advantage because, you know, irregardless of who wins the HOH, they're safe all week, this team of 4, except for the BB roadkill, right? So I don't know. Frank is on the right team. He's chosen some good allies.
Yeah.
And Paulie dominated that comp, really. Like, if you saw him during the comp, he was just running and jumping else that was competing. And he deserved the HOH title. And he also deserved it after the week he went through of potentially going home. So I'm happy about that. So then let's get on to his nominations. So his nominations were kind of revengeful, which I kind of expected a little more strategy from him. But anyways, he ended up putting Paul and Bronte on the block. I guess he had some strategy. He didn't put Victor on the block initially because he didn't want him to have the chance to win the veto. So he put Paul up as a pawn and had a chat with Paul that he is a pawn and he wants to work with him. So he kind of laid the groundwork to work with Paul once both of Paul's allies were out. And I'm kind of liking that pairing too, the Paul-Paulie pairing, but we'll see where that goes. And anyhow, then the roadkill happens and Victor ends up winning the roadkill, like killing it. So then it makes the most ridiculous of mistakes and goes and tells all of the people that are against him that he won it. I didn't understand that at all. I don't understand how he's so clueless to the fact that Frank and James and Polly are not working with him. Anyhow, what did you think of that? Like, if I was
That's the
Victor,
reason I'm not with them on their side. Because I kind of feel like it was a silly play. It made no sense. He didn't even talk to his people. He made a gut reaction, which is not how you win Big Brother. It's how you get voted out in the beginning. It was really, really stupid. And essentially, he, I mean, like, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but it doesn't work out too well for him. Like, it was a stupid, stupid move. And there was no real, like, he couldn't have saved himself, I don't think, but what a stupid move. It was just like dumb to watch. I was like, you leave your family and friends and that's what you do. Why would you run to the team that like voted out your best friend the week before? Doesn't make sense. Use your head.
Yeah, I don't understand it. And even after Paul counseled him in no short form, like counseled him not to go to them, he'd already gone to them and told them, spilled
It
the
was
beans.
too late at that point. He already did it. Paul knows what the writing is on the wall, and he's like, well, I'm not an idiot, but he's like, I can't say anything because I'll screw myself. But
Yeah.
he played by the rules this week. He'll stay another week. But I think he and Bronte are interesting, but I think that he's all like, he's hot-headed. I don't know. Not a fan.
No, I think that after this week, when Paul ends up staying, we're gonna see him cool his jets a little bit. I think we'll see him. No, I think we're gonna see him take a step back and maybe like realign himself with Paulie and get in that segue a bit. Just take a step back, hopefully do more listening than talking. And I don't think he's in a bad position if himself or Bronte ends up winning HOH.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I mean, HOH is up for grabs. It played in teams, so we'll see how this week goes. Going back to Victor, I don't understand what his rationale was there. And not to mention, he totally played into what Frank wanted, which was to get Tiffany on the block, because Frank and Tiffany, before all this went down, had this huge blowout, I guess, from what I read on Twitter, in that he told Tiffany, like, just stay out of it. This has nothing to do with you, when he was strategizing with James and someone else, James and Corey or something. I don't remember the specifics, but they had an argument. And so the whole reason that I think Victor nominated Tiffany was because Frank was counseling him to do it. I don't see any other reason for him to put Tiffany on the walk at all. I don't know. But so it's playing into Frank's hands, and I wouldn't be surprised if Frank tries to flip this vote and instead of getting Victor out, get Tiffany out this week, because he sees her as a threat. If I was him, though, I hope he doesn't do that this week and show his cards too soon, because with this whole buyback thing, we forgot to mention that, the BB buyback, where the eliminated house guests do like a survivor type buyback where each week they compete against each other, and the person that wins competes against the next person to get back in the house. And that's consisting of the first 5 people that get evicted. There is a chance Tiffany might come back. So getting her out this soon, especially when she's part of the 8-pack, doesn't make sense. I think Frank should be thinking a little more strategically. He's played this game once before. And I think he's starting to fall into some of the same mistakes he made in his season. And I don't hope that for him, because I do love Frank and he is on my team. And I want to see him make it far, because I think he deserves his second.
Yeah.
But I think he's falling into the same mistake he made the first time round, which is aligning himself strictly with the boys, making it an all boys club. And on top of that, playing a little bit too much with his heart. He needs to, it's okay to play like that after the second half. Go for the gusto, play then. But right now, you should be laying back a little bit more. He's in a pretty cushy position with the team he's aligned with through Big Brother. The category 4 is quite strong in competitions for HOH. On top of that, he's got the Veterans Alliance. And on top of that, he has the 8-pack. He's quite secure. Why are you putting yourself out there this much, Tiffany? Like, yes, he probably learned she's Vanessa Russo's sister, but don't put yourself out there that much when your big brother game right now is just so solid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But I think I love Frank. I loved him in his season. I love him again, but I think he's falling into the same mistakes he made the first time around. Tweet at us if you disagree. What do you think about Frank?
I think he's smarter this time around. I think not having Boogie there to be like a distraction is allowing him to play the game I think that he wants to play. I think he's aligning with the boys because that's just his MO, like the girls are doing. But I think he will allow women to come into it. I think he doesn't like Tiffany because she's really smart and he knows it, so that scares him. But he likes Nicole, who's also very smart, but is really cute and kind. And Nicole is probably my favorite this season thus far. Like she's playing a really good game. She's smart. She's funny. She's very endearing. She's got empathy, but she also knows how to dig in when she has to. So I think she's my favorite. Frank is like, I'm watching him. I think they're all going to do well. But yeah, I don't know. Like the veterans coming back, it seemed like a big deal in the first episode with some awesome editing, but I don't think it actually made a difference at all. I think they're in this game just like everybody else, and I don't think anybody cares if they played it before.
Yeah, I agree. I do. At first I was like on the fence, like about these veterans coming back, but then once they got in there and they started talking DR and like playing the game that we all loved the first time around watching them, I'm like, yeah, there's a reason that all these people got put back in here. They're comp beasts, which is all about this season. I think that's part of the reason they were chosen.
Yeah.
And Devon is just killing it in the DR. And according to the DR tally that's going on Twitter, she's got the most call-ins to the diary room. Like she's the pulling into the diary room the most, and deservingly so. Like I can't get enough of what she says in her DR. She's amazing. She doesn't even need to be like quote unquote produced, because what comes out of her
Oh, you froze. What happened? You froze. We're having technical difficulties. I'm not really sure what to do. 1 second, people. Maybe Mel just like stopped to watch some videos of a Big Brother. That's probably what happened. Um,
You're about to
oh,
enter
you're
spoiler.
back?
Pardon?
You froze pretty bad.
Did I?
Yeah, I'm just like talking to people being like, okay, so I guess we have technical difficulties. Maybe Mel went to watch some Big Brother.
I was just saying we're about to enter Spoilerville, so anybody that does not want to know
Maybe the
what
internet revolted and shut you off.
maybe, I don't know, maybe the Big Brother God shut me down.
Yeah.
So we're about to Spoilerville. Anybody that does not want to know the happenings of what's happened after Polly winning HOH and Victor winning Roadkill can shut us down now. Thanks for tuning in. Anybody that wants to know spoilers, talk about them, keep going with us. So moving forward, so Polly ends up winning the veto. Congrats, Linz. That's 2 wins this week.
I'm doing well.
Team Polly. So thoughts on that? And then he ends up taking Paul off the block and putting Victor up, which surprises me because one of his allies, from what I could tell, him and Tiffany made a bit of an alliance at that chess table, from what I could see. And I was all about team, I was calling them on Twitter, team, what was I calling them? Tiff Polly or something? I don't know what I was calling them, but I was all about that alliance. And then he ended up taking Paul down, which shocked me.
No,
If
of
I was
course
him,
he took Paul down. I wasn't shocked. Well, full disclosure, we've not seen the show yet. We're just reading what's happening online. The veto competition happens tomorrow, so I haven't seen reactions or conversations or anything like that. But he made a promise to Paul. He knows that Tiffany's numbers are in place, so he's not too probably worried about her. He fulfilled his commitment with Paul. And he put up Victor, which is what everybody really wanted. So I'm not surprised at all, regardless of alliances he's made and that kind of stuff. Really, Tiffany's going to be fine. I truly believe that. I think Victor's head is on the chopping block. I think that's what everyone really, really wants. And then, yeah, so none of it surprised me. I was proud of him for having the balls to do it because he seems like him and Victor, or at least Victor was trying to be like Mr. Good Guy with them. And he was putting on a fake game, like when I watched it, and being like, I don't know why he's telling me about this roadkill, but okay. So he still had to make a pretty like ballsy move and have Victor mad at him, which is probably not a fun situation, but he did it anyway. And I think he fulfilled his commitment to Paul, which goes to show you that he's a pretty loyal brother or player. I think that if he plays the way that like his brother did, don't be so loyal that you have the blinders on and lose the damn game. So.
Awesome. No, I agree with you in that regard. He did fulfill his commitment to Paul by taking him off the block, but he also had an alliance with Tiffany. So
yeah, but Tiffany's fine. Tiffany's fine. You run the risk of having Paul like voted out. Why would you do that? Like you want this one person, and everyone knows Tiffany's fine. Like it's the same with like Paulie being on the block and Nicole did it. Like if you know the person's fine and you genuinely know you have the pact, and it's too soon for any of them to jump ship, there's no point. It really doesn't affect it. Like I hear you in terms of loyalty, but like I'm sure that a conversation happened being like, I can't do it, and here's why. And she was probably like, I hear you. Like, you know, like he owes her nothing, and that would be a dumb move. Everybody would be like, why did you do that? That's what I think.
I agree. I agree. I just, I don't know.
He's playing smarter than his brother. He's not playing with his penis, and he's not playing with his best friend. He's playing for him. So we'll see.
We'll see. It's definitely been an interesting game so far. So much has happened. It's insane. Like I can't even get over it. I'm excited for the BB buyback to start and to see if Josiah makes it back into the house. I think it would be the most epic thing for him to make it back in. I think the host guest would be beyond shocked to see him walk back through the doors.
If it comes down to what they did with Big Brother Canada, like 2 or 3, I'm not sure which one, and they have them go back in like they did with Cindy with an S and all that, I think Josiah doesn't have a hope in hell in terms of endurance because I think if Victor's out this week, then he's stronger mentally and physically. So I think his chances are not good. So unless it's like a word challenge or something like that, maybe, but I would be surprised. I think it's going to be physical to get them back in. I think it's going to be endurance. So
I would love to see Paul back, or not Paul. What was his name there? The older guy. Totally. I don't even know why I'm saying I would love to have him back in when I can remember his name. Right, Glenn. I'd like to see Glenn go back in because I thought he was going to be an interesting character. I thought he was going to be Enzo, like from, I forget what season. I think it's BB 11 or 12. Correct me if I'm wrong, Twitter world that's watching. I would thought it'd be some sort of Enzo character that would be down with the guys and like just be cunning and I was living for his DRs that never happened. But anyway, I was hoping he'd stay longer than he did, and it was so close. But I'd love to see him come back in and just play a little more and see what he has to give. Because I think it was unfortunate the way he went out, and I don't know. I would like to see Glenn come back in. I think it's highly doubtful that he will, but you never know.
you never know.
You never know. Anyhow, I think this pretty much wraps up this week of BB Breakdown 902. Do you have any final words before we say goodbye to her?
No, I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. It's tough without the feats, but that's say la vie. What can you do? I think that Victor's going out, and I'd be surprised if it went another way.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting if they got Tiffany out. I think it would be ridiculous on their part to do it this soon. I hope that they don't.
Yeah.
Because I like her, even though she's strikingly so much like Vanessa. The way she talks, the way she looks, her game play even is so similar to Vanessa's. But I'm still excited to see what she has to offer to the house. And,
yeah, but you could say the same about Polly, right? It makes no difference. Like they're the same people, but they are different. I was surprised that she didn't do very well in the math competition.
No. I was giggling. I'm surprised that Victor won that comp, to be honest with you, but kudos to him. Just not so much kudos to him with the choice he made, but it is what it is, right?
Yep.
Anyhow, okay, well, thank you everyone for tuning in to BB Breakdown 902 this week. We'll be back again this next week coming after a few episodes have aired. We will tweet out when we'll be back. We have to converse about that after we go offline. We thank you again for everybody that watches us consecutively each week. A special thank you to the Reading Cave on Twitter. He is a longtime supporter since we started, and we appreciate all your RTs, all your likes, and all your tweet outs to us. It warms our heart, and we'd like to take this opportunity to thank you. All right, see you next week.
Bye.